This is where I left this yesterday. I showed you that we had flooded it, flushed it out. Flushed it out makes all the panels fit nice. I just want to turn around and show you for a second. As I was talking to Jolene, there's the difference between being flushed out. See how it fits? It's not bad up here. And how it fits here. There's a difference between a car that really fits well and a car that's painted and looks nice. When you come up to a car and you see a car and it takes your eye because of the paint and generally because how it fits. And what I'm actually doing is showing you how they make them fit so nicely. Whether it's this much fill or it's that much fill or that much fill. This is how you make it look nice. This is what I'm showing you. As we get going here, I've showed you how to flush all the panels out. Now there's another job. You have to make the body line or the body gaps. And I'm going to show you an easy way how I make body gaps. What I do on like the 40 Plymouth is just a door gap going down the back side. It's very easy. What I do is I'll show you. As this door has been done, all the chips are still on the edges, so I'm going to take all them off first. Take all them off first. Put my glasses on. So, we've got it flushed out. Now I'm opening the door and taking all the chips off the edge of the door. That's what I'm going to do. Take all the chips off the edge of the door. Because the door gap is going to be dictated. It's going to be dictated by the edge of the door. Now remind, I have to fill all this out up in here yet. Keep in mind, I have to fill this all out in here yet. Just getting the fill off the edges. Now, as I have most of the fill off the edges of the door, I can't see because of sand and dust, but anyways, as I have that off, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix some filler up again. I'm going to thin it down with my polyester resin. I'm going to thin the filler down with my polyester resin, or I might not even do that. I think we bought some Z-Grip. Yeah, we might just go Z-Grip over top. This is our local Napa fill. It's a little bit coarser and a little bit denser, and we usually use that to do the filling, and then we use a little better body filler, the Z-Grip, to do the filling after to try to get the pinholes and all the scratches. So there's 40 grit scratches on here, and there's pinholes. Mostly what's left. We got some metal showing there, all the way around, so we know how thin this product is if I'm at bare metal at all them places. You know how thin it is. It's there to make it look nice. This is what I've done. On this door here, I can't just go down the back side and throw filler in there and then take it off. When I put it up in here, it's all going to run down inside the car. I don't want that. I'll let it run inside the car on the back side because I can just open it up and grind it off. But as I do this, I took and stuck. There's some of this stuff here. It's just, when you paint a car and you want to paint inside the door, you'll stick this foam, sticky foam in there. It's like a sticky foam, goes inside there. That's just going to catch body filler from going down inside. Because what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do the top roof first, and I move on and do all this other stuff too, but I think I'll do this part, and then I'll do this part, and then I'll do this part and that part. So this is a big job that has to be done on all show cars. They have to be gapped. And everybody's saying, well, you know, I don't know what the gap is supposed to be. I just like it the same all the way around. If it's an eighth all the way around, I like to have an eighth all the way around. If it's 3/16 all the way around, I like 3/16 all the way around. Does not matter, but that has to be done on show cars. And I'm going to show you how to do it very quickly. I'm going to show you how to do it very quickly. I wonder if I should just, well, it might not be that quick if I don't shake this up. This is a little different body fill, exact same thing. It's just a smoother, probably got more resin in it than the Napa fill. That's probably the difference. As I scoop this off here, I'm hoping that we don't need. Here's what I got going on. So right now, as I'm filling the door out, it's the first time it's had body fill on it, and it's been sanded with 40 grit. I usually do an 80 grit after that to make it a little bit smoother. So there will be more coming off. It's just not yet. And that's why I'm not going past the metal much anywhere, because there's still more to come off with a different grit. But anyways, as I mix this on here, or mix this up, this is Z-Grip. If I didn't have the Z-Grip and I was just using the cheaper fill, like the Napa fill there, if I was just using that, I definitely would put the resin in it and make it run better, flood better. But this seems to be a pretty good fill, I guess. I don't use it a whole lot. I just use it on the top, and that's generally it. All right, here we go. So all this stuff has got 40 grit scratches in it. It's got pinholes in it. That's what it's got. But I'm going to put this on as thin as possible, just as thin as possible, all the way around, because I'm going to do it again. That's nice. So it gets flooded one more time. I'm going to sand it all one more time. I got something in my filler. Something in my filler, man. So I'm acting like a drywaller again. I have filled the roof of the car. It looks good, really looks good to me. It looks really good. What now I'm doing is I'm coming in, putting on another layer of filler. And what I'm trying to do is feather the fill off that we put around the door and the roof. I'm just trying to feather that out, make that thin. I'm going to let it set for a second. Actually, I could put maybe just a little bit more on. So there's going to be a time here where I've got to do something, and it matters. It really does matter. It does matter. I'll mix a little more up here. I want that more there, just because So this is, instead of using my polyester putty, I am using the fill for what I'm saying is pinholes and scratches. So if you want to bear with me as I do this, or as we do this, I'm going to show you just getting pinholes. That's what you do, or that's what I do. Just go over and get pinholes. Now this is the part right here. This is how we do this. So as we've got this gap full, you'd say, well, you better not do that because you'll never get the door open again. It's all body filled shut. And there's body fill inside that door in that gap. So it's a real mess, to be honest with you. But I just wait a little bit. I'll let it harden up a little bit so it's rubbery so I can cut it. I will take the razor blade. I will follow along the door, the edge of the door. So if I was doing this door, so if I come up here and fill this shut, this is how I make body lines. This is how people make body lines as fat, or body gaps as quick as possible. Fill it shut. When it's almost ready to dry, take your razor blade, run it up the edge of your door. Put it right up the edge of your door. That means you can open your door. Then you wait a little bit. Then you shut your door. Then you have a little line where you've cut your body fill. Then you take your tape and you make whatever line you want with your tape. That's how you know how far back to sand your body fill to have the perfect gap, because you tape it off. And I'm going to show you here, right here in a second. As I come here like this, I don't know how dry this is or what it's acting like, or we're not even close yet. I got a heat gun there. We'll put a little heat on it, see what happens. Well, maybe not. Yes, so as that sits there, you can see that gap full. Can you, baby? Can you over see that? You can see how I have body fill in there. Okay? And it's flushed out now. We know it's flushed out. That's why I put the fill on as thin as possible. When this gets pliable enough, I'm going to take the razor blade and cut it along the edge of the door, because the door is what I want to go by. I don't want the fill on the door. I want the fill on the car. So when I open the door up, then I'll shut it, and then I can take my tape and I can go along where it's cut on the edge of the door and make the perfect door gap, because the tape will show me. So when I open the door, then I just take and sand the body fill back as far as the tape. And I have to do that all the way around. Then I have to do that all the way around the trunk lid. And if you can picture it, this is where it's come to. You know, if you look around at cars, if you go in and look at cars and you're into it, that's what show cars, that's why they look so nice, because they fit so well. And I'm just showing you how they do it, or how I do it. Sometimes there's a trick to it, like to put fill on this and not get any fill on there, and then try to make that door gap. It's a hard thing to do. In and out, in and out, in and out. No, this is a one-shot deal. Fill the gap up, cut the line, tape your gap off, sand it back to the gap tape line. You've got it perfect. So we're just kind of waiting here. Should put a little heat on. Let's see what happens here. Still too little wet. I generally don't run around with a heat gun heating the filler up, but the video is starting to get a little pliable. Starting to. He's just starting to get rubbery. I don't want to peel the edge off. You know, I don't want to mess the edge up. I want to keep the edge. I want it hard enough that I keep the edge so I can sand it back. So I go on the edge of the door. On the edge of the door. Keep the razor blade with the edge of the doors. Yeah. It's going all right. Okay, we're going with the edge of the door. Keep her going. I know I'm keeping it to the edge of the door, or I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was. As I come. And this is a little different, you know what I'm saying? This is a round door. I'm not, you know, I'm not quite used to round doors. This is how I generally do it, though. Ah, I don't want to get out of the way here. Now, should be able to open my door. Now, I'm going to take and get a little bit left on that. Trim that off. Hopefully left on the other side. Now, as I got that on there, I'm going to shut the door. I'm just going to go back up tight again. All right. Now, I can see, come take a look. I'm going to open her up again. I can see where it's been cut. I can see where it's been cut. I'm going to shut the door right. All right, there's our one. So then I take a piece of tape. Should have a small piece of tape, to be honest with you. And I go around the edge of the door. I need a small piece of tape. Or I can just... I need a small piece of tape. A piece of tape that'll stick. We're going to go a little small first. If I had some fine line tape, might be all right. It's not sticking for me. It will stick here in a second, won't it? Got some smaller tape to it, baby? It'll stick here. I got some smaller tape. I do too. Look at that. Got some. This is kind of thin, but it'll do the trick. Now, as I've got that line, you see that line in there, and I'm just going by that line. The line that I cut on the door is my body line. So I'm taping off, no, body line, body gaps. I'm like a body line hitting the head. Anyways, I'm taping off the door gap itself, and I'm running the tape to the edge of the door where I've cut it open, and that's how I'm telling how big of a door gap I'm going to have. Or I want. Oh, it moved on me. It's not sticking to that tape very well, or that body fill. Now, any car that you see, or you go look at, or you think you like, take a look at the body lines or the body gaps, and that'll tell you how well it was done, how much work it was done. It will show you how much work was done to it. Now I'm just going to, generally you would not do the gaps with a flapper wheel. You would generally do it with a piece of sandpaper and take your time. I always used to run my sandpaper in there and jam it in there and try to go back and forth, and after a while, one spot you get it leaned over, and then you would get it back this way on the door too much, and then one place would be too wide, then you'd be back in there putting fill on. When I have this tape on here, I know not to go any further than the tape. I know that before I even open the door. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you real quick how I'm going to open the door. I'm going to take this little grinder, flapper wheel. I'm going to pull this off. That held the body fill from going down inside the door. And just go like this. shut that for a second, just to show you. See the door gap? See how that's nice now? I'm not going to take any more than that off, but I'm just going to follow the tape all the way around, and then I'm going to go on the inside and feather it off. And that there will be the end of the... I think we're going to have a little bit more. Yeah, we'll have to let a little more fill that edge in. But that's how you get a good door gap. Just like that. Fill it full. Cut it open with the razor blade. Make sure you're there when it gets rubbery. So if I was doing it here, that's the way I always do it, and that's why I'm doing it on this. I generally don't do doors that are going into the roof. I generally do cars like this that shut. But what I do after we flush them out and get them flushed off, then I run a slick of body fill up, cut the line, open the door, tape it off, grind the inside edge off, and then put the filler on this part, leave the door alone. That's what we're going to do exactly on this one. We left the door alone, we'll put the filler on the roof. Awesome. So now what I have to do is, this filler is on here very thin. This filler's on here very thin, and I will sand this filler with an 80 grit on an electric DA. Exact same thing. If you want to, you can guide coat it if you want to. If you want to guide coat it, you can guide coat it and do it too, right? And I will sand it with that as just as if I was doing a block. Exact same way. I've crossed it all the way around. So what I've got to do, I've got to come in there now and put that foam in here. Or I don't have to, but I can't. I'm going to probably because I have it. And I'm going to fill it full. I'm going to cut the edge off this side, tape this side, make my door gap. Yeah, it's Thursday. I want to thank everybody for whoever buys Hiltz Auto Gear. I want to thank them very much. Appreciate it. I want to thank all the good comments. All the bad comments, don't care. Don't care. This is the kind of guy I am. If someone really feels in their heart that their opinion is going to overrule my happiness, they're foolish. Foolish, if you know what I'm trying to say. I do not base my stuff off of what someone else has to say or their opinion, because I'm pleasing myself and I'm pleasing Jolene is who I want to please. But along the way, I've decided in my brain that I want to help people that want to do what I want to do, or have fun with this sort of stuff. And you can have fun with this sort of stuff without spending the money that you think you have to have. You don't have to have a bunch of money. You do not have to have a bunch of money. You have to buy some Bondo. You have to go to work, obviously. Yes, you do. But you do not have to have a bunch of money to build a nice rod. I just want to show how I'm going to get this car to fit so nice. And one thing I will say, the nicer the metal work, the faster the body work. And that's why I filled the whole door out and sanded it in an hour. Because the metal work is good. It's all, it's good. All I do is flood it. So once the metal work is, you get it decent, then you get fast, because once you get fast, you can put the fill on quicker and have less to fix. When it's warped and you have it all over the place, not looking good, that's what takes time, because you have to keep running back and have flooding that area to make it look nice. So that's how we have become to build cars so fast. I never thought in my life that we could build a car in 35 days. But when you have a team of people that are willing and to use their brain and do it as quick as way possible, which I have learned over time, for me to come in here and put a little fill on this and sand this out and be happy with that, well, no, I'd rather flood the whole door and do it all in an hour instead of just doing that top part. When I do one side, I'd like to do the other side while I'm waiting. It's just stuff like that that gets you further ahead. Little tricks like this I've done myself, spent days trying to make gaps. And the easy way to do it is to fill it full, cut it open, and mark it off. You'll be much happier. Make sure you try to put the filler on the vehicle, but you'll be much happier. And this is the stuff that's done to custom cars, cars that have been modified, cars that have been hand-built. Let's face it, they're not cars that you buy and you buy parts for. Yes, you still have to fix those and flush those and make them gap the doors and all that stuff. Yes, you have to, but that's when you realize what I'm doing here. That's where that comes in handy, when you have all these new parts and you're trying to make it fit right. When you see something that's not really fitting right, they didn't take the time to do what I am doing. That's the difference between trying to make it look the best you can or accepting it for what it is. I can accept it for what it is and for what it's not. But I am building Jolene a Bugatti and I want it to look like it fits perfectly. That's what I'm trying to do. And as I do that, it makes me quicker at what I'm going for. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching too. You know, if you keep on watching, I'll keep on building, keep telling you the truth. There's nothing that I'm going to do that I'd lie to you or show you, well, I show you this in metal and show it to you in primer. No. I'll show you how I put the Bondo on it, how I sand it off, what grit I use. And that's just to benefit you, because I hate to say it, everybody's opinion is not going to change how I feel. I'm happy, so there's, if you know what I'm trying to say. Take it for what you want, and that's the quick way to do body lines. Anybody who wants to make body lines in their car, that's what you have to do. You have to flush it out, take all the tips off, the edge of the door, fill the body line full, wait till it gets rubbery, run your blade around the edge of the door, because we don't want the filler on the door, we want it on the car. Run the razor blade around the edge of the door, open the door, then you get to make a body line with your tape around the line that you have cut. And you will go all the way around until you hit home. All right, thanks everybody for watching. And we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Tonight we get to finish the Pinto. When we got done the Pinto, it was funny, the what truck come out there? What truck was it? The Tesla truck come out. And it was funny how we built that car as quick as possible, obviously. And what we had to do to make it as quick as possible, and I think that Tesla did the exact same thing to make their car as quick as possible. Straight bends, straightforward, no real design, just what it could have been or what it could be. And that's what shapes the world, That's what shapes the world. When you see stuff like that, it shapes the world. The little yellow car that we built, it's something different that you've never seen before. So obviously it's a piece of art, and it will shape the automotive world because it's got so many things said, good and bad. And it's on tonight.